Hey everyone, I've got you in the box again. So when we're going through this new eclipse cycle in the leadership of Aries and Libra, it's about Libra is an air sign. It's about our spirit, our consciousness, and Aries is a fire sign. So it's about our spirit, soul. Okay? Our soul, fire. Soul fire. Now, spirit, air, soul, fire, that's what we've got that we're working on for leadership. So leadership of spirit and soul. That's our mission for the next 18 months with this eclipse cycle. I'm so sorry you're in the box again, but now I'm teaching. Well, I'm not teaching, I'm learning it myself. But I'm going to share it with you. The mirror principle, and it says how our reality operates. How to reflect the external reality we desire by first presenting the corrected internal image into the mirror world. So, oops, so sorry, I'm setting myself still. The mirror will always reflect what you believe about yourself, your identity, your paradigm. We're in the earthling realm, so when we say ourself, we're sort of saying our persona, our character, everything that affects us in this reality. To change reality is to look at your day. Like, I did this good thing, I did that good thing, and we focus into it. This is a great characteristic of mine. I like this, I like that I did today, that I did about me, that is me, that sort of stuff. Kind of note it down, do whatever you need to do, and journal about it. Right, so because on the other that's positive, on the negative energetic frequency, if we look at ourselves and believe that we're not good enough, if we failed, then the mirror reflects proof that we're not good enough and that we fail. The mirror keeps reflecting this proof, confirming this compounds and becomes your external reality and creates those patterns which people call karmic. So just a quick note, and that is Saturn, the Lord of Karma, is at the first degree of Pisces at the moment, and the asteroid 3811 Karma is at the 7th degree of Pisces at the moment. So there is definitely something going on in the Piscean realm that we so you look for what planets you have there, and then you can correlate what's going on in your reality as well. Of course, Pisces is to do with faith. Now, let's see. To use the delay principle, we'll do that in a minute. It's very important not to directly try to shatter the mirror image of reality, impacting reality. We have to change the reflection by presenting a higher frequency image. It's like trying to influence something by saying, don't do this or that. It doesn't work. Now, instead, you motivate, inspire by giving a good enough reason not to do something because it is detrimental and might not help them or you, and ultimately it's not best for you. Then that's your your reasoning. Now, the mirror reality is only altered by forgiveness. It's forgiving. It's forgiving to bend reality. So the bending of reality, the shape-shifting of our realm for us that we step into is about forgiveness. That's when the mirror becomes forgiving and it doesn't shatter. So as we grow up and we were unconscious and we were going through our life and we're like, wow, what's going on? We have seen a lot of destruction in the mirror reality. We're watching war and all this sort of stuff. But now, from this period, right now, full moon outpouring Gemini, it's outpouring the new seeds, the ideals and it's all done by the cosmos right now. It's the cosmos's intention, not ours. So anyway, we bend reality with forgiveness. We're going through the period of adjustment. So we're going through a period of adjustment all the way from the Gemini full moon outpour to the time of the Chinese New Year in 2024. That's in the first couple of months, February, January. Okay, so now concentrating your desire to heal yourself, heal your broken heart, is your choice to have love. Now, this is the most important aspect of the mirror work. So your intuition tells you what the needs of your souls is, and that's your goal, that's the end goal. So in every level of seeking the answer, it's a process of grief. So we're grieving, we're going through the grieving process, and in the grieving process, this is where the answers for adjusting our reality, bending reality, come into play. So as we have dedication and willpower, and as we sort of like develop our ability to adjust our plans, we have more enthusiasm and we have more creativity. Now, I'm just going to use an example. Oh, and when you get close to what hurt you, you can repair it. And that's for the good of your own tranquil mind. Because, just imagine you hurt your finger, you're like, ow. Well, you don't just leave it dangling. You've got to actually tend to it. So you always tend to your hurts, and lovingly, and, and nurse. You always nurse yourself as well. And that's your emotions, your mind, everything like that. Be a good nurse to yourself. So, now I was going to use the example. So, reality mirrors in layers, energetic layers. So, I was saying that I always try to have a good relationship with my mother. It's not easy to do this, and she's kind of like separated herself. They live in the South Island and stuff, and of course, like life was a difficult one for her before I was even born, then me, and also all of us as a family, as it goes on through the generations, as we go through these soul experiences in the families that we live in. Now, so my mum's coming to see me soon, and I invited her to come to dinner. Told her I was cooking a nice roast and nice roast kumas, things like that. I know she would have been tempted. I know my stepfather would have been tempted. They would have been like, yum, that sounds like good food. But they said no, thank you. And now I could have reacted in my previous way of when I was younger and things like that, and I would have got hurt feelings. And I would have been like, oh, boo, they don't want to share food with me, blah, blah, blah. They're whatever I would have thought at the time. Sad, cry. Now, this time I practiced the pause because I'm doing the mirror technique to change my reality, and I came up with another idea. And the other idea was, how about, would you like to stay for a cup of tea and some cake? And they said yes. They said awesome. So in actual fact, I was able to have what I wanted, which is my mother in my life. It might not have been my initial plan that came into fruition, but it still was able to be adjusted. And this is what I'm trying to say, is we're going to do adjust all the way through till the changeover, which will be the Chinese New Year. So we're working on making these adjustments, because in our life we're going to change our reality so that our heart is getting what it desires, and our heart desires love. First of all, we've got to love ourselves, and of course what we're doing is we're doing this for ourselves. This is how we amplify our energy. Okay, so let me see. Now, on that little subject there with how I was speaking with my mother. So it's not about, don't fake it till you make it. So my intention is always love. So it's quite easy to continue with that instead of just stopping straight away. I've always got something up my sleeve that I'd love to do. But if I fake it till you make it, like as if like you wanted to have a conversation with a person, that person wasn't necessarily interested in the idea, and nor are you really, you just kind of want to have an argument or something, well, don't do it, because you're creating friction. Friction creates smoke and mirrors. That's hoodoo or witchery, manipulation. So we're not into that, because the energy feels off, we can feel it, we can sense this stuff. We're not naive anymore. Well, some of us aren't, at least I aren't, thank God. Anyway, and then also, don't hate. Hate is a poison. Hate is a big poison. Now, I want to talk about myself, because I tried to be a good person. Well, let's not say I tried to be a good person. I did my best to be a good person, but inside me, I had so many things that I didn't like. I hated violence. I hated pedophiles. Now, I'm going to talk about it. A couple of things. Hate. I hated abuse. And so the mirror reality started to reflect all the content that I hated, because inside me, that was my focus. I was focusing on like, geez, I hate pedophiles, I hate this, I hate that, blah, 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 blah. And then they started to come into my energetic field. They entered my energetic field. I call them the zombies. Now, so, people can do this with bills, like say money. If you hate it that you're so poor, well, the universe is going to confirm to you, it's going to prove to you that what you hate is reality. So it's going to keep on giving it to you, you see. So it keeps reaffirming what you hate, and you start to get pissed off more, and you complain more. So you get more to complain about, and on it goes. You see, you're stuck in that pattern, that cycle. It's just a pattern. So it's only a pattern, and patterns are ever expanding. So don't worry about that. Now, the mirror has no choice. It is merely the reflection of your inner beliefs. So if you're believing, I'll never get out of this hole, then if the universe is going to keep confirming that for you, you see, it's going to give you the proof that you can't. But when you start believing other things, like back as I was saying, you look at the day, you say, hey, that was a really cool thing I did. That was a really cool thing that I have done. And you focus into that, then you start to see more about the good in yourself and things like this, and you start to build that up. The more you start to build upon yourself there, the more you are forgiving and bending the mirror of reality. So you start with forgiving yourself, obviously, if you're in that hate mode, because that's the responsibility of understanding that you created the reality that you went through. So there's two things going on. The half of our life from childhood up to who knows when, we're unconscious, and we're going through this thing of finding out about our spirit and about our soul and about how we're creating things. We're watching synchronicities, and we've got all this different stuff going on in our reality, and we're going through a process of understanding. So the more we awaken, go through things, crises that give us these gifts and powers that we have, might be telepathy, might be the power of prayer. It might be a couple of, when you're writing a letter how much you hate God, and a couple of Mormons turn up knocking at your door. That happened to me as well. All sorts of things are in this world to show you that there's more going on than this living in fear that's here energy. So this living in fear energy, we were born into it. Okay, so it's been going on for a while. We've had a lot of war on the earth and stuff, so it's been quite a long time. But we're not going to continue the energy of living in fear. We are going to make an alteration to the energetic field here upon this earth. And how we're going to do that is we begin with I am safe. It is safe to feel safe now. That is our belief. We're going to believe in it. And then we're going to look around, and we're going to see all the things that are showing back to us, reflecting back to us, that we are safe, and it is safe to feel safe now. And we'll notice it during the days, and you can write it down, and the more that you have those affirmations and it gets affirmed in the actual reality, the bigger your list will get, and the more secure you will start to feel, because our goal with the Pluto square is that plateau we're building our hold, the castle. Of course, it's invisible. It's not a physical reality. We are doing it in spirit. So if we looked at it that way, it's sort of like our spiritual home, perhaps, that we're creating. Maybe. I'm new to this, and I'm just talking freely. So let me see. Our desire is to heal our broken heart. Now, sometimes, the example, sometimes just hearing the truth is enough to heal your broken heart. When you hear the truth, even if it's like, oh gosh, please no. If you know it's the truth, then it quietens something in your mind, because it was the truth and it resonated truthfully. And we can live with the truth. It's just the lie we can't live with. So now, the more that we have, as we process our grief and stuff like that, the more emotionally stable we become. Wonderful, wonderful feeling. And this, of course, generates creativity and enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is a wonderful power. The power of enthusiasm can really get you going. And when we are sort of like vibing with a little bit of enthusiasm, that's a really hopeful energy as well. And hopefulness has a big part to play in this, because coming up at the new moon, we've got asteroid Pandora. I can't remember if she's in opposition or conjunction with the new moon coming up in Sagittarius, so I will check it out. So sorry. And the opening of Pandora's box, all the ills were sort of like went free upon the earth. The only thing that was left in the box was hope. Now, the story with this Pandora's box was that Zeus didn't want man to have the power of fire, but Prometheus, the Titan, said, "Here you go, man. have some fire, and cook yourself some food. Zeus got upset with Prometheus, and Prometheus was put upon a rock up high somewhere, and because he is immortal, he's a titan. The eagle came by day and ate out his liver. Liver means live, and liver is where our spirit resides. So when we were conceived in the womb, and we have an umbilical cord that goes from our belly button into our liver. That's how all the food gets zhushed into our body when we're inside the womb. So that's an interesting thing that happens to us as well. It's the blood filter. So spirit's in our liver. Now, let's see, what was I talking about? Oh, yes, Prometheus. And then Hercules the giant was the one who saved Prometheus and freed Prometheus. And I think it was Hercules. I just have to check that out. And he sacrificed himself, basically. That's how Hercules died. And Prometheus, of course, was then freed. So he is a benefactor of mankind and gave us the power of fire for warmth, for cooking food, and everything else that we, of course, do with fire. So Zeus created this. Well, he told Hephaestus to create the woman Pandora. She was so beautiful, earthling, made of clay, and she was given to Prometheus's brother, who was also a titan, as a wedding gift, they were given the box, or for some stories it says that it was a jar, like a genie jar. Anyway, it was opened by Pandora because she was curious, and that's how all the ills flew out of it upon the earth, except for remaining inside is hope, which is an important part of what we keep inside us, hope. Okay, so let us see. Dedication and willpower. So every level that we're seeking the answer, as we process through our grief, it'll come to us. It'll be a spiritual answer. It'll be an answer in our heart. It'll be an answer for our soul. We'll have these different experiences. Could be physical body. And along comes emotional stability. And then the more stable we are, the less in fear we live. And then the more we're creating a reality that is more forgiving. That's what we want. And everybody wants that. We all want forgiveness, I guess. Even murderers want forgiveness. It's hard to say. I'm not really big on it. It depends on the case, like crimes of passion versus psychopaths. Two different things going on there. But, so it's a big one. It really is a big one. The answer is always forgiveness, though. So that's what I want to say. So the more you can bend the reality with forgiveness, the power of forgiveness comes from your heart. Because your love is stronger than any other emotion, okay? We've only got two biggies, love and faith. Those are the two. Love is the heart, faith is the spirit. Thank you so much for listening.